Hello to all traders and welcome back to another market review brought to you by Orbex. So it looks like the Nasdaq is gearing up for another record high. Stocks have been quite progressive so far the early part of this week, and we're just waiting now to see what is in store for inflation, as year on year is expected to creep up by at least 0.1%, possibly higher, going towards the away from the magical 2% target that the Fed had and more towards 3%. So with the Fed having this headache going forward, is it going to cut rates progressively, even though that we are in a little bit of a shortage of a labour market at the moment? Inflation is expected to start creeping higher. Is there any more excuses for Fed Chair Jerome Powell to not cut or not take any action on his monetary policy going forward? And there is this suspicion, a slight fear that there could be a recession on the horizon as well. So lots to take in, but the stocks and indices looking quite progressive. We saw this downturn in yesterday's trading of a few hundred points, but since then we have actually bounced back and are attempting, as I said, the Nasdaq to start pushing a little bit higher, especially when the open happens in America later on today. So let's just look on the intraday 4-hour chart, and we're just seeing this topsy-turvy, choppy price action. The important thing here is that at the latest swing low, we did get a nice firm double bottom, and we are now seeing that price action is potentially going to start going a little bit higher and keeping the fluidity in the game as well. But obviously the latest peak that we saw towards 24,000, and 24,000 itself is a very big psychological resistance for the Nasdaq. So this will be quite interesting if we do break it on the RSI. Not too much to sink our teeth into here, not too much in the sense of directions, but we're just waiting on the news and what's in store for stocks going forward. Obviously, gold is still flying. The metal market in general is still flying. Dollar taken aback slightly, but as you can see here, S&P, similar story. We had this bit of, after its latest record high that we saw, we had a bit of a downturn before potentially pushing a bit higher. Similar to the daily chart on the Nasdaq, since we hit this record high not so long ago, we have had a bit of a, as I said, indecisive pattern. But now for the S&P, as you can see, very flowing quite nicely to the upside and not really having any slowdown in that respect. We're just having these kind of higher highs, slight troughs in the market, but overall we are seeing price action really moving in favor of the upside, from bulls really progressively staying in the game as well. So what do you think? What is the before in any run-up before the inflation data is released, CPI data, especially in America, we do often see potential downturns in price action. But at the moment, we're just waiting to see if we're going to have more of an upside or downside in that particular movement, and if we're going to have any kind of progressiveness in the stocks. And will there be any surprises with the CPI data? Obviously, non-farm payroll data really being subdued for the dollar, but we're just waiting to see now if that's going to have any action on going forward for the fourth and final quarter of the year, and will we avoid that recession? We'll have to wait and see. But as always, we'll bring you all the latest in technicals and fundamentals as they come. So stick with us, stay ahead, trade responsibly, and we'll speak again next time around. Bye for now.